какой этот официальный?
Ладно, скажите все, уважаемые гости, прошу сесть, мы начинаем. Да все, говорите. Вас все равно не видно. Ну ладно, ну давайте.
Уважаемые гости, просим всех занять свои места. Мы начинаем.
Dear guests, please take your seats.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please take a chance to have a seat. Enjoy yourself. Very easy session on AI. Easy, understand. We'll get there. That was a joke. But we're going to try not to be technical. If you have technical questions, come up to us afterwards. We have a bunch of geeks, so we'll be answering your questions on hyperscalers afterwards, okay? On GPUs and CPUs. We'll talk about that afterwards. But on this one, we're going to keep it at a very high level. And so let me, if I could see a show of hands first, how many people are in the AI space or are tangentially involved in AI? Can I see some hands? Okay, great. All right. So why don't we get started? We'll do some introductions first. My name is Tim Un. I'm based in San Francisco. I have been in the venture space for about 14 years. Before then, I was on Wall Street. And I've been investing and running venture-backed startups now for the last 14 years. And most recently, I have an AI application company that we founded. And so start with that. Let me turn you next to my friend Antonio Yobi Benjamin. He lives in San Francisco as well. And let me tell you about his storied background. Hit the button. Hit that button.
No AI yet for that one. My name is Yobi Benjamin. I'm from San Francisco. I'm also in the venture capital space, and I've been doing, and also a researcher. For those of you who have iPhones, I was one of the key developers of Apple Pay. So you have me to hate for having Apple Pay. I'm fundamentally a developer, but I've been doing AI research now for 15 years. So I've been working with OpenAI since day one. And we're here to just go and share some of our experiences, hopefully to provide some insight to the beautiful country of Uzbekistan, and just have a lively discussion on AI. Minister.
Good afternoon. My name is Sherzad Shermatov. I'm the Minister for Digital Technologies Development of Uzbekistan. We are responsible for implementing digital technologies as well as for promoting AI and regulating AI. So here I think I'm the only one representing the government, but we are really looking into for more promoting rather than the regulating AI. Please.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Lovato. I'm the Chief Future and Solution Officer for a company called DataVault, part of the Vision Invest Group, a Saudi group. And we are doing the infrastructure behind the AI, and very much infrastructure that is adapted for the new AI, the high densities, and what we'll discuss later today. And we had the pleasure today to break ground on the first data center here in Tashkent together with the Minister of Digital Economy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Krainov. I work at Yandex as Director of AI Technology Development. Yandex is an AI native company. Most of our services, like search, completely based on AI technologies.
Great, thank you. So just to give you a little sense, again, like I said, I'm going to keep it very high level for you folks, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the end where you can ask us more technical questions. And if it's very technical, we'll be here afterwards. You can ask us questions. So first of all, I'd like to answer some basic questions of what is AI? Why is it important? And then how did it get here so fast? It came almost out of nowhere, right? And then what are the risks and the implications of AI, right? And then we'll talk, and then we'll open it up a little bit. Okay, so that sounds good. Does that sound good, guys? Great. So I'm going to open it up to your minister and ask him, define AI. In your view, what is AI? And not the Wikipedia version, but you're in the middle of it. Your hands are all over it. What is AI?
Actually, it's a very tough question. I think there is no common understanding of AI. What's AI? And our mission of our ministry is to help to make people's lives easier and better through the digitization. And I would like to include here AI as well. So AI, from our point of view, should help to make people's lives easier. So this is an area of AI which we are looking for. And of course, second component of our mission is to create jobs for our people through digitization. And we are very much interested in looking AI as an opportunity which creates new highly paid jobs for our young people, because if you look into Uzbekistan, this is the country which had the biggest growth of population since breakup of Soviet Union, and the top priority is employment and highly paid employment for our young people. So, of course, you can talk about theoretical definitions of AI. I mean, so far we have been thinking about kind of narrow implementation of AI, like you have MyID system, which is face recognition, or kind of Mukhlisa, which is kind of voice recognition, or everybody is kind of moving towards artificial general intelligence. When are we going to face it? So there are many different understandings of AI, and there are many different perceptions of AI. And unfortunately, we also see the deep fakes of very famous people, leaders, presidents, kind of using their faces, using their images, and kind of violating the law through this kind of thing. So there are many perceptions and understandings, and we have to think about further development of AI, as well as avoid possible risks, avoid possible threats for our community.
Thank you. I wanted to give you the first shot at it, because it was a difficult question. I'm going to let also Yobi take a shot at this question as well. Yobi, what is AI in your view?
So I'm going to answer the question twice, right? Because there was about roughly 30% of the room who understand what AI is. We have roughly 70% were saying like, we're kind of new here. So for the non-technical explanation of AI, it's allowing you to interact with a computer, simply to interact with a computer, to perform complex tasks, mostly language, image. You can ask complex questions, not just simple questions, but complex questions. That's the very basic explanation of AI. For the technologists, AI is really a set of algorithms and compute capabilities that allow you to process a lot of information very, very fast. So those are very basic explanations of AI for both the techies and non-techies. I can go really deep, but this is not the place to go really deep.
Thank you. Anyone else want to take a shot at that?
Yeah, maybe just to add that AI is very old. I mean, the basic behind AI, the mathematics, is a very old things. It happens now because obviously we have the computing power, and we will have more computing power in order to do this and run these complex language models. And this is the evolutions that I think help us to accelerate also other aspects of the economy. It's not only, let's say, the AI itself, but we see that as an accelerator of many sectors of the economy and the human life in general.
You want to take a shot at it?
I think I give a very simple and very technical answer. Sorry for technical answer. For me, AI is services, products, technologies based on machine learning. It's a very huge difference. I think, what's the difference between machine learning or other methods? In other methods, we understand what we need to get, and finally, and we select if Something, do something. In something, do something. What's the difference with AI, with machine learning? We know what we would like to get, and we tune our program automatically. This is the difference. The difference looks very, very, very simple, but now we can see huge advantages of machine learning methods.
Great, thank you. So if I ask a question on this AI and other panels, you get similar but different answers. I just wanted to put that out for different folks. So he went the machine learning way. He talked about the risks, right? So there's different ways to talk about, you know, the whole example of an elephant, right? Depending upon where you touch the elephant. But it's ultimately an automation, right? Where it's almost human-like behavior of automation to make things quicker is my perspective. Okay, great. Next thing is, when I say AI, most of you think immediately, right? ChatGPT, right? Immediately ChatGPT. The question is, it seems to have come out of nowhere. For most people, like, how did this magic happen, right? So I'm gonna start here again this way and go back that way, this way, starting with Alexander. How do we get out of seemingly nowhere, ChatGPT shows up and can answer questions like magic? How did it happen?
Yeah, your question is, how works ChatGPT, yes?
How do we get here? So, there wasn't a ChatGPT out there really that the consumers can use, and all of a sudden, this magic appeared in front of them. How did it happen? How did we get here? How did we get to it? Talk to me a little of the history of it.
Okay, for my opinion, if we talk about not only ChatGPT, about all large language models, ChatGPT is a large language model. How it works? It just predicts next word. Frankly say next token, but okay, we will not discuss about technical details, predict next word. But how large language models do this? They use all text in the world, not all, but many text in the world, for training. They read most text in the world, and as a result, large language models have all text information which we, people, done. And compare with many, what do all the large language models? They take as input any text, our prompt, or our prompt with some document, and generate new document. Sometimes they take document and generate new document, make summarization or something else. It's very similar for our works. What do doctor sometimes? He received text, some text analysis or some history about patient or something else, and generate new text, decision. What do developers? I mean programmer. They receive some text like a task. They use previous code and generate new code. And many our work take some text and generate new text. Very, very, very same like GPT work. And for this moment, I think I'm strongly sure that we don't know all areas, we don't have all ideas how we will use these technologies. It's just start. But for my opinion, we can compare these technologies with internet. We are in the same position like with internet 30 years ago.
Okay, great. Awesome, thank you. That's how it works, right? So it really talked about sort of the predictive mechanism of how AI works. Now I'm going to switch up and ask Yobi because he and I actually planned this. So Yobi, how did ChatGPT come about? Walk me through a little bit of the history of how we got here.
So, sorry about that. So, as I said, I've been working on AI for a long time. And part of the problem we had in the early days of artificial intelligence is simply we did not have enough compute power. What does that mean? Just think about it, the computer was not big enough. The problem was so large, the computer couldn't handle it. And then what happened was there's this technology, right, called GPU, Graphics Processing Unit. It was these processors, I'm getting a little technical here, right, but a quick history here. These GPUs process information much faster at the same time. Better than CPUs, which is your Intel processor, et cetera, et cetera. So what happened is there was a breakthrough. And the breakthrough was really led by an American company called NVIDIA. Some of you may have heard of NVIDIA. NVIDIA basically released the first version of their chip. It was used, believe it or not, to make Bitcoin. So it was used pretty much for Bitcoin processing, but we did a lot of experiments on these processors, and basically we used it to compute much larger data sets. The most important thing is there was a paper that was released. It was a scientific paper. It was only 12 pages long, written by roughly 11 people who were at Google. It was called the Transformer paper. But the Transformer paper basically says, large data, large processing power, you need both, and you need lots of power. So power has in power generation, you need that. You need large processing power, your GPU, and you need large data sets. It took a long time to do this. Roughly, oh my God, as you said, AI is a very old science. But then suddenly I'd say about 2.5 years ago, the first versions of ChatGPT came out. Now, the new chip came out, the H100s, which is a very, very, very powerful machine. Very expensive, by the way. Roughly, just the chip alone, roughly right now, $60,000 a chip. That's without memory. So an entire machine with these chipsets, easily $1 million, because you don't have one chip, you have several chips. These all came out. And then the algorithms were built. These algorithms, again, based on the Transformer paper, basically were able to go and take complex, large data sets and process them. By the way, we still don't know today what AI can do. We don't know the results of what AI is. There's a problem in AI called hallucination, which means it comes up with crazy, stupid answers that you can't really explain. We still have not solved that problem. So for you who go and fully depend on AI to solve your problems, you'll be a little surprised. Sometimes, don't depend on it too much yet, because it could give you some really crazy answers. So all of this happened, and then in the last 18 months, 24 months, ChatGPT rolled out. It was probably the fastest adopted piece of software in human history, even faster than the internet. It went like that in a hockey stick. It's a short history of AI, basically.
Thanks, JB. So at a high level, the hardware innovation came like this from NVIDIA. And the software infrastructure side is Elon Musk put $1 billion into a company called OpenAI, a nonprofit. And they started working on this stuff and combining it with the hardware. The software side came about, the algorithm side, and they kind of married, and out came GPT. They're even surprised at that time when it came out a couple of years ago how well it worked. There's a lot of mystery about it. They don't always have the answers. So just FYI, the hardware side and the software side came together very quickly, and the compute power became so fast. So the innovation on both sides. Great. Let me go on here. If you guys have been watching NVIDIA stock, that company came out of nowhere to be worth $1 trillion. Talk to me a little bit about the data center. Talk to me a little bit about why are they worth $1 trillion? What's going on in AI, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one other aspect, because when we mentioned before GPUs and calculations and power, it requires a lot of power in terms of use of these GPUs. And what is happening today? GPUs are optimized for what is called the training of these models. And training is very intensive because analyze a lot of calculation, a lot of data, and come out with a model that can run with other data and create other, and be adjusted and provide this answer that has to be come out with ChatGPT. This requirement of power is for supporting this growth with these GPUs and CPUs that will come as well from other manufacturers in order to process what is called the training on one side and inference on the other side of the artificial intelligence is going to be enormous. So there is an aspect that is also need to be faced on the fact that there is additional power that took the world by surprise. In the US, in Europe, there is no sufficient power to support this growth of artificial intelligence. And this power obviously is not green, because in parallel to that, you have seen there are other sectors today, the green sector, the green fuels, they are going to decarbonize. IT today, in terms of number, is like the shipping industry. 3%, 2% of the carbon emissions in the world, they are emitted by the IT industry, and this without artificial intelligence. If you imagine the growth that is going to happen 10, 100 times, require power that is not there, and this not being green, it will take the IT industry as one of the largest polluters globally. And this is another aspect that is to be taken into account. Data center comes to, in a new innovation, data center become a power center today that need to be green, integrated with green, and the solution that this country does now is a lot of renewables that will be integrated, a lot of green hydrogen that will be integrated with data center to provide this power. Open the ability to other regions to provide power and to really, really support the growth of artificial intelligence today globally.
Great, thank you. So we talked about what is AI, how did it get here, right? Now let's talk about, let me go to Mr. Shermatov as he's managing the policy of this. Tell me the benefits from your perspective and the risks. Let's get into the details. What are the benefits and the risks? Why do we actually care about this? So it takes a bunch of information, answers a bunch of questions, right? Like a human, almost, right? And it takes all this power, right? It takes trillions of dollars of building these data centers and then building the OpenAI, shaping all the data in the world. But why does it matter? Why is it important to you?
Of course, we have to think about the benefits because, especially for the country like Uzbekistan, when we have a growing population and we need to think about creating extra opportunities for our population. Let's start with some widespread, simple areas like education. As a former minister of public education, I know the most important challenge is to find highly qualified teachers. It's a very big challenge when you need 500,000 highly qualified teachers. It's not that an easy thing to do in a developing country. So, but with AI, you can have excellent teaching tools of foreign languages, of technology. So AI can be used as an excellent tool for upskilling of the general public, even those teachers who need upskilling. Or it's a very difficult job to find good doctors everywhere, especially in rural, remote areas. With AI, you can have excellent doctors almost everywhere because the most important component of healthcare is identifying the right diagnosis for the patient. So there are many, many opportunities of AI, and therefore everybody is talking about AI, everybody is trying to get the benefits of it. And even in Uzbekistan here, in the morning you witnessed that we launched very important projects for AI. It's with the Data Vault, we are launching fully green data center in Uzbekistan. This is a unique project because it's fully green, powered by full green energy, and data center specifically for AI. And this creates opportunities for more of the AI companies to be looking in this area because in Uzbekistan, which builds kind of data center for $5 billion, then those companies would be also looking to this area, something is happening over there. And of course, the threats, risks. I mean, people in Uzbekistan are very trustworthy. They trust each other very easily. I mean, it's very difficult to find any other country where if you go to a shopping mall, they just ask for your PIN number. And they just tell it. And unfortunately, with AI, with all the deep fakes, with the social media, you can see all the famous people whom our people trust. Very good businessmen, very good politicians, even the presidents. They are naturally speaking about some kind of in deep fake videos, and people are trusting this, so it's a kind of complete disaster from that perspective as well. And it's very difficult to counterfeit this kind of deep fakes. And majority, I mean, one of the things we are talking about the very high rate of digitization of the government. We are, I mean, for the last ranking of UN, we improved 18 positions in the global e-governance ranking. But at the same time, the highest growing number of crimes is related with digital kind of money transfers, etc. This is all done through social engineering. And with all the deep fakes, social engineering, and even the intervening in elections, intervening in, social unrest. So these are all the risks. And I was just watching the video by historian Yuval Harari. He was telling that this might be the end of the human history, where humans are not the dominating in the managing the world, since AI might be taking over most of the making decisions. So these are the challenges which we should think about. We should think about getting most out of the AI, all the benefits, and avoiding the possible threats of this AI. This is the area where we have to think about when we are developing our national AI strategy. It's under development, and it's going to be soon approved, and we would be happy to work together with all the experts on this.
No.
Go ahead.
I want to add something to that, right? There are, to those of you in the room, and you're talking about AI, there's about 5 companies, right? 6 that actually dominate artificial intelligence. Guess where they are all at? Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, you know, I mean, and a little, huh? And no, Anthropic. Anthropic. So all of them are American companies. By the way, all of them are in Silicon Valley, except for Amazon, which is in Seattle. And then you have one big player out of France, Mistral, which is open source, right? What I see the big risk, not only for Uzbekistan, but all nation states, is this dependency, right, on content that is very, very biased. It's very biased. The languages that AI uses are only 9 languages. When the data comes from 9 languages, Uzbek's not one of them, okay? It's English, Spanish, Mandarin, you know, Portuguese, French, German, and you can see already the natural bias that occurs when that happens. It's really important for a nation state, not just Uzbekistan, not just Kazakhstan, but every nation state to have what I call a national AI, not only a national AI strategy, but a sovereign AI strategy that incorporates the values of your country, the history of your country, the data that your country has, your health, everything. This is the thing that you really have to, nation states, not you individually, but nation states really have to go and pay attention to, because you don't want what I call the Hollywood effect. What is the Hollywood effect? You all know this. Last night we went to a facility over here, and they were singing Russian songs and Uzbek songs in rap music, which originated in America. And you know what? That's what I call the Hollywood effect, right? You don't want the Hollywood effect on a tool so powerful that it can dictate your lives, your decisions, everything that makes you Uzbek. And that is a danger.
Okay, now let's get into some specific examples here, okay? Now we talked at a very high level. Let's talk specifics, okay? When we're talking about risk, you guys, and I'll let you guys all jump in. When we talk about cybersecurity, I'm gonna give one example and then I'm gonna open it up. If you have Wi-Fi in your house, using AI, I can map your room. If I have Wi-Fi in the president's office, I don't need a camera in there. I can map your room. People who are in there, the chairs, I can map your entire room. If you're a military facility, I can do the same thing. I don't need a camera. If I have 2 seconds of your voice, I can do a perfect copy of your voice. So for example, let me give you an example what scares me. Let's say someone goes to my child, calls me and says, oh, hi. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong number. I'm like, yeah, that's the wrong number. 2 seconds of my voice. Calls my son and says, hey, this is Dad. This gentleman is going to pick you up after school at 3 o'clock. We have a U.S. election coming. You want to do a Donald Trump? You want to do a Joe Biden? You can absolutely do it. And have some crazy message. Looks just like him with the lip movements, everything. You've seen it. I don't know if you've seen the Justin Bieber song, the recent song that he did. Exact copy with him sitting there singing in his voice. I did not know it was actually, I thought he just did a cover song. He did someone else's song. So with that example, let me come back to you guys. Say, what are some things that, now that's the negative side of it. I can give you 50 of those. All right, on the positive side, I'm working on a company right now where we're automating institutional finance. Let me tell you what I mean. I came from the investment banking side many, many years ago. What does an investment banker do? They hire very expensive analysts, young, smart people from Princeton, Stanford, Harvard. They come in, they create these things called pitch books, which are stories about the companies that you want to telling about, right? And a financial model. For a long time, we thought we couldn't copy this. We're at a point where we can do 70, 80% of a job, meaning I can go get information and create what they call a research report on the company. 70, 80% in about 2 years, we'll do about 90% of it. So the guy who was making $180,000 a year, investment banking analyst at Goldman Sachs in New York, I can do 90% of his job in 24 months. Not all of it, 90% of most of his job, because now AI allows low-level reasoning, right? So there's a lot of these so I'm gonna go with you guys, right? You talk about these mid-level jobs, call center jobs, low-level software engineering. In Silicon Valley, we are already automating most of those functions so that 1 person becomes 3, becomes 4. Stanford professors don't ask PhD students anymore to code for them their research products. They're now using automated software development tools to do low-level coding. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to give it to you guys. Give me some examples, guys, of what scares you and of the upsides as well. And let's start with you guys over there. Tell me what you see as positive use cases and also things that scare you. Specifically, let's talk to everyone.
Maybe I can start.
Yep.
On this aspect. I would say we are in the infancy on this revolution, because at the end is a revolution, and it will be a revolution like the industrial revolution. Some people says that it will be like big like the industrial revolution at the beginning of the last century. And let's take the example of cybersecurity, okay, deep fake. The evolution will come on the fact that we will have AI applied to look and define the deep fake as well. It's not there, it will come, there are some applications, it will come also. There will be a development also on that side. What about on the people side? Because obviously you say that a lot of jobs will disappear. Yes, a lot of jobs will disappear, but take the example of ChatGPT. You can put any input on ChatGPT, but how you get the output is very much depend how you put the prompt, what is called the AI prompt. So we will have a new figure already today that is called the prompt engineers that will be able to get the best out of this ChatGPT or any other language models that will be enabled to do the work better than others. So there are other professions that will come. There are other evolutions that will come in terms of the utilization of AI. What is important, at least for us on the infrastructure, is that doing an infrastructure that will be able to democratize this AI for other countries where there is energy, where there is the ability to put different mine to where is the typical location is very important. And I think we are in a perspective today to do it in Central Asia, to do it in other regions where bringing the benefit of the infrastructure, of the power, of the integration of water, what is available there, and the people as well, coming on that with all we have said before, is an opportunity rather than a problem. A big opportunity for the world in general. open the AI with right infrastructure to the world.
I also would like to add that very often when we talk about AI, we talk about future. But we use AI right now. If we talk about deepfake, we talk about image processing, yes? How often you use image processing done by AI, you know? Each time when you make photo with your mobile phone. Because why quality of images made by mobile phone so good? Because it's AI work. It's like deep fake, it's painting. It's painted. Next example, you unlock your mobile phone using your face or finger. It's work AI. How works weather forecast? It's also AI based. All searching engines in the world completely based on AI technology. In Yandex, we start for reverse image search, for search by image, we start use neural network 10 years ago. But we start use machine learning algorithms in our search more than 50 years ago. Modern searching engines can't work without AI technologies. And I can give you very many more examples how we use AI technologies right now in our life. It's not only the future, it's the present. But if we talk about the future, there are many very interesting areas. For my opinion, two my favorite areas for AI in the future. One of these areas is education, and second is medicine. I think in the next maybe 3 or 5 years, we can expect amazing, dramatically changes in medicine and education. Thank you.
Great. I'm going to give Mr. Shmatov the last word here. Tell me about, again, I want to give you the last word here on this panel. Tell me a little bit about where you think this is going and how it will impact. You talked a little bit about it, but tell us, I want to just give you the last word here on this panel.
I was just trying to ask the last word because I was called off to
Yeah, okay.
as the important meeting. So definitely, as I said, we already launched a very important step with
Yes.
Data Vault. We are opening the Green Data Center. We are focusing together also on moving with the upskilling, the capacity building on the AI so that we will have more talents on this. And we are also developing the new AI strategy where our aim is to more promote AI's opportunities and try to avoid possible risks.
Yes.
We are not going to over-regulate the AI, but rather trying to use the most of the opportunities.
Right.
But as I said, the top priority for Uzbekistan is creating the jobs. And from that perspective, of course, we should be better prepared when we are focusing currently on those lower level jobs, as you mentioned, the BPO, business process outsourcing, lower level of coding, which might disappear over the coming periods. Then we have to think about upskilling of our new generation to make sure that they will be able to get highly paid jobs using their skills so that and they live the happy life together with their family in Uzbekistan. So by this, I would like to apologize. I have to leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. You know, we could go on for a long, long time here, but I want to open up for maybe have about 5 or 6 questions, maybe 3. I call it 3 to 4 questions. If someone has a question, please let us know. If you have any questions now, you have a panel of folks that are heavily involved in it. Go ahead. Right over there.
That's a great question. Ethics, regulation, data privacy you know, synthetic content, data poisoning. It's a very difficult area because we actually don't know how to control it. I'm serious. You do not know the end result. I mean, you can ask the most advanced AI researcher in the world. You don't know what you're going to get. If you think about that the movie Terminator, right? And when the last scene in Terminator, and you know, you get these robots suddenly like beginning to try to go and basically destroy their creators and humanity. That's possible. Totally possible. Not only possible, you know, you need AI to fight AI, which is crazy. You know, if you really think about it, it's like AI versus AI. It is a hard problem. Regulating is very hard. You know, these images right now that are generated, can we tag them and say, this image is generated by AI? Samsung made an effort to do this, right? They would tag an image, this is AI generated. But you know what? If AI can generate the tag that says it's AI generated, I can write a program right now in about an hour to take that tag out. It's not hard, you know. So the ethics, the regulatory issues are very difficult, and it's not easy to answer in this session. There was another question.
Let me answer that question also. It's a balance, right, between opening it up to, because there's a lot of benefits, right? And you know, I don't focus much on the X risk, the extinction risk, but there are a lot of, I mean, I can give you some examples, some pretty scary examples of what it could do today, right? But you have to balance that with the growth. Like if we said the internet, information's everywhere, you can do how to create a nuclear weapon, an internet, you know, you could have gone there, but it's about 10x the economy. We had no Google, no Facebook, none of these guys, Amazon, 30 years ago, and all of a sudden they're the largest companies in the world, right? Is that a negative or positive? Probably a positive. Social media, probably a negative, right? So there's a balance. And so the question is gonna be, how do you balance the risk and how do you balance the positive? So that's a really tricky situation that regulators and I'm working with someone in the United States, we're trying to come up with policy on that. And that is not an easy question, but we're trying to be careful to say, hey, listen, we need to know more. We need to know more. Let me give you one example that really scared the pants off me. So, Minecraft. Who plays Minecraft? You guys ever play Minecraft? They actually put AI to play Minecraft, 3 or 4 of them, and they played together, and all of a sudden, they get together and start to plan together how we're gonna build this world. Then they said, let's first start by farming. So they started to farm. One of the AI started to walk away. I bought the Minecraft guys. They actually went over and told them, no, come back. We decided to go farm. Don't kill the pig. Come back and let's. And then they started to build the world, very, very human-like, right? They started to plan together, not just one, but they started to plan and work together. They ran out. They were told. Then they wanted to go do something else. They realized it was not possible. So they went over to the next guy, burned their house down, took their stuff, and took it back. No one told it to do that. But that was the rational, logical thing for them to do, right? So this is the kind of stuff you have to be careful. With that said, listen, we're going to be able to, a customer service person is going to say, listen, instead of 10 strokes that I do, I can do it in 1. That's a great thing, right? And what that's going to do is, much like the internet, the people who know how to use the internet and you know how to code are going to make a lot more money than those who don't. And that's the divide you're seeing, that haves and have not, even in the United States. That's coming because there's what they call returns to education, returns to technology. And if those who know how to use AI, not even the technical side, but know how to use AI, will make a lot more than those who don't, right? So that's the kind of stuff you do have to manage. It's a good thing. There's more economic activity and more good things. But there's also, you know, you deal with the consequences, but that's life. Life is about trade-offs. So that's a long answer to your question, but something that we are really thinking through right now.
There was a question
Yep.
there.
I have 2 questions. The first one I definitely have to ask. The second one is the first one is for Alexander and Yandex. So I run the Zero-Day Accelerator. 2 of my teams. One team is building a child care app to access foreign scholarships to represent medical information in Uzbek. Another one is trying to create an AI chatbot in Uzbek to supplement call center work in education.
Very cool.
However, translation services, SST, TTS, and Uzbek right now, Yandex is much better than Google, but it
that. That's- oh, yeah.
How do we get exposure for these teams to get customers to survive?
As I understand, you need to access to our machine translation system. Yes? Short answer, it's possible. Let's discuss about it.
Next question was how do we get exposure for these teams so they can get customers so they can survive on their own?
You know, that's one of the best questions when I talked about a national AI strategy, a sovereign AI strategy. The first part of AI, by the way, is not really AI. The first part of AI is finding the data. You need to find data. If you want an Uzbek answer, you better have Uzbek data. Because if you don't have Uzbek data, ain't happening. You know, it is not going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is the thing. You need lots. You need context. You need culture. You need respect for elders. You need the context on the food. I went to the market and I saw many things I've never seen before in any part of the world. That has to be in there because that context enriches the data. You know, this is the hard part. We need the data.
So think about what the US says. They download entire Wikipedia, the entire internet, the entire libraries of Congress, all of YouTube, all of Facebook posts. That's what we're talking about, right? You want a very accurate AI in English? That's what you do. Now with the Uzbek side, you have to create that data. So there are very interesting ways to go take various different types of data and do it. It could be done in video, but there has to be concerted effort by the Uzbek people to do that. Now there are ways you could automate some of it, but that is very important. But this thing, it doesn't happen overnight.
By the way, you have to tag it, right? And just because you have an Uzbek YouTube video, that's not automatic. There are people right now, entire industries and companies that watch that video and they go click, 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 you know. Oh, this is food. Oh, this is made out of rice. Okay, by the way, this is the color purple. Whatever. Tagging is a very important part, and that's not automated right now. There are entire companies that do nothing but tagging, and then you ingest that data, you know. And so it's really critical for countries, particularly languages like Uzbek, to do this.
So let me see if there are other questions. So is there anyone else? Other questions? I'm going to let also you guys answer some of those questions as well. Any like Yobi and I, we live AI every day. San Francisco, all we do is talk AI. So ignore us. I'm going to let you guys answer. Anyone else have any other questions?
All right. I guess you own the floor, buddy.
Sure. Anyone else? There's no dumb questions. We're all figuring it out. AI is very new. We're figuring it out. So no dumb questions. Feel free to ask.
Leading into the question I was worried about
Yep.
asking, if countries have a sovereign AI policy, doesn't that change the incentive structures surrounding the use of AI? All 5 companies you named before have intense scrutiny, right, on the ethical applications of AI. If there are sovereign interests surrounding sovereign AI,
Not like China.
You go.
I wasn't going to name names, but when there are sovereign AIs and there is sovereign conflict, is there not an incentive for AI to be turned to non-super uses?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Destruction, my friend.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like,
Hey, guys, it is actually past 5 here. I'm going to, if you want to talk afterwards, feel free to come up to us afterwards. But thank you so much. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.